It's my great pleasure to introduce our first speaker, Sharon Marzouk, talking about robotics and easy ways to get started. We've seen her speak many times before, and we're really thrilled to have you kick off our stage today, so thanks for being here.
Okay, hi, thanks for attending today. I'm Sharon Marzouk of TechieKids.com. I'm also a full-time instructional technology coordinator at a kindergarten through 8th grade school, Woodland School in Portola Valley, where I'm a full-time technology teacher. So, we're here today to talk about start a robotics program at your school on the cheap. Robots! They're awesome! Whoa! What does it do? How does it work? Can I play with it? It's so cute! Can I have one? These are common questions that I get as soon as I show a robot. I mean, look at it. How could you not ask those questions? Why learn with robots? Robots are fun. Robots are interactive. We can relate to them. They've got sensors. We've got senses. They do things. They move. We move. Robots are new. Like, you get to see it. It's exciting. You don't know what they're going to do next. A blend of multidisciplinaries. You can code with them. You can build off them. They have electronics, mechanical engineering, design. Robots make you think and ask questions. You saw a robot, can I have one? How does it work? What does it do? It brings curiosity out. This is amazing. So they're so wonderful. But why don't schools want robots? Well, robots are fun. The kids could get too loud, out of control. The teacher no longer has control of her classroom. You can't have too much fun. The other teachers might look at you and say, are you even teaching anything? Robots are interactive. They're doing things. You're not sure what's going on. You don't have control of your classroom anymore. We can relate to them. Robots are new. I have to learn something new for my classroom. It's going to take so much time. I've got so much paperwork to do. I have to manage my classroom. I have to do after-school programs. I don't have time to learn something new. A blend of multidisciplinaries. Well, I'm good with kids, but I'm not a tech person. You know, I can do this, but I can't do that. That's kind of scary when you're a teacher and you have something unfamiliar. You've been teaching English, you've been teaching math, but you can't teach everything. How's one person supposed to be good at everything? Robots make you think and ask questions. Well, what happens if a kid asks me a question that I don't know the answer to? Well, I'll feel kind of silly. I'll tell the kid, well, I don't know, and he'll look at me and be like, what kind of a teacher are you? I'm in 4th grade, and I'm asking you a question you don't know. You must not be very smart. Welcome to the real world. Okay, so the same reasons why we love robots is maybe also the same reasons why teachers are terrified to have them in their classroom. They're scary. Why also might schools not want robots? Robots are expensive. The more equipment, the more time. Being a technology teacher, I know that every single piece of equipment I introduce in my room gives me a new headache. The more pieces I have, the more management it takes. How do you prepare for one student, let alone 30 students that might be in your classroom? Good luck with that. Also, someone brought to my attention that they had a grant, $9,000, to maintain the equipment. Okay, so you get money in, and not only do you have the equipment, but you have to spend money to hire people to maintain this equipment. It's an issue. Let's get them in schools. Let's forget all that. Let's get them in schools. Wait, but how? Okay, so a bit about me. Background mechanical engineering. I spent a few years, I love creativity and innovation. I moved out to California. I started working at an after-school robotics program and summer camp. I was using this Lego Mindstorm. Lego Mindstorm, that's what introduced me to, wow, robots are engaging. They do so much. You can learn so much. I have to admit something to you. It's not that I love robots. People come up to me like, yeah, did you see this robot? Yeah, did you see this robot? You must love robots. It's not the robots that I love. It's what robots can do for education that I love. It's the spark that happens in their eyes when a kid looks down and they see it moving, and then it's like, haha, I can teach you so much now that you just fell in love with this thing in front of you. So there's this whole WizBots education, and so it taught me how much kids can love robots, but there are a few little glitches with this. Number one, I almost broke my back picking up Legos off the floor. Number two, Lego is like $400 to $500 for a set, but then the motors get integrated and you need more motors and you need more wires. And then on top of that, it's really complicated to get started. You have to be good at Lego building. You end up with this swamp of motors and you don't know what to do with it. And so to program, you need a build. To build, you need a program. So it's really frustrating because a kid has that same thing. I can't do everything at once. Well, and also Lego Mindstorm, you have to pay for licensing. You can't just, kid walks in with a computer, hey, I'd like this software. Sorry, I can't give you that software. You need a license. I need a site license. I can't put it on your computer. You can't walk in and feel empowered. Okay, so there's cost issues with it. All right, so I went from working at WizBots to working at a robotics company called Willow Garage, where they had this $400,000 robot, and they said, we have like $10 million of robots sitting here on the weekend. Can you do something with it? We love for you to bring a robot to the museum and teach kids how to program. Well, that's pretty cool. $400,000 robot, bringing it to the museum. I set up an exhibit, I helped design it, where kids could make the robot dance the Macarena, program it. I had 2-year-olds programming this $400,000 robot that was actually created for universities. Okay? So how do you, and they loved it. But there's a small problem, falling in love with a $400,000 robot. When a robot costs more than your house, maybe not in California, but chances are you're not going to be able to bring that robot home. It restricts it to be able to learn robotics when you're in the museum. Oh, but that's what you do in the museum, but I can't do that at home. So there's an issue with that. Thymio, the educational robot. Okay? I was working at Willow Garage, and this researcher came in, I saw this robot, I was like, now that is an amazing robot. I've been teaching robotics for years, and there's always been issues, and now I love this thing. And I've been teaching with it pretty much nonstop for 3 years. And even I had some feedback they incorporated in it. It's a bunch of researchers in a university who designed this for the purpose of education. They didn't design it to sell Lego. They didn't design it to just move products. They designed it for education. That's pretty strong. It's a nonprofit, a university designing it for the purpose to make your kids smarter. So, how does it do it? Interactive lights. You can learn quickly about sight sensors. You can learn about sensors over here. Take any kid, say, hey, put your hand right here. The robot's talking to me. Okay. You can tell any kid, take your hand. Sorry, a little bit feedback. Okay. So you can take any kid and say, hey, do me a favor, put your hand right here. Oops, what the? It starts interacting with them. They think it's talking to them. What? Why did it do that? You can start getting them curious. You can talk about accelerometers. Why is that light always facing down? They're asking questions already. I'm sure you're looking at this, curious about it. Okay? The funny thing is, I'm looking at everyone. It's like, what is that? Are you curious? Well, think of how old you are. Can you imagine a little kid seeing something with lights, wheels, that kind of follows them and not smiling? I haven't seen it yet. So not only can you just turn this robot on, and you instantaneously can explain why it's happening, get feedback, clap, see something like that. You can even control it with a remote control. Okay? You can even make musical instruments. It's got 20 sensors. Lego Mindstorm has like 4 or 5, okay? All into one. So you can just build off of it. It has Lego attachments, you can draw. It's basically a robot that does everything. So 2-year-olds can start with it. I have my 4-year-old niece programming this robot. I'm using it in my K-8 classrooms. I'm getting people buying it for high schools and colleges. Well, it's not just the hardware platform that's amazing. The software platform. You can have amazing hardware, but if you don't have amazing software, it doesn't matter. You can have amazing software and you don't have good hardware, it doesn't matter. But they created a holistic approach when they designed this robot. So this software, when you're ready to program, okay, kids might not be, they want to play, they want to explore, they want to build, sure. You can make a jumping robot just by playing with it as is. There's like at least 5 different modes over there. There's a drag and drop language. These are sensors, these are motors. If the robot gets this response, then do this action. If I touch the forward touch sensor, make my robot drive. Each one of these sliders controls each motor. So that way you can even learn about differential steering. How do you turn without a steering wheel? Okay, you have proximity sensors. If there's something in front of this robot, turn blue. All you have to do is hit play. The program goes from here to the robot, and all of a sudden, you're programming that robot. You can program that robot, plug it in about probably 20 seconds, and you see the kids light up. What, did I just do that? Yeah, you did. And the great thing is you're not just interacting one-on-one with the computer. You're now interacting with the robot. You're now just not... You have to come into the real world again. You've got something tangible, you've got something physical. You've got something to talk about. Once you program this robot, you bring it to someone, you say, hey, watch what I can do. Look what the robot can do. And then you have someone engaging it. Well, how about you do this? Oh, and the conversation starts. That conversation starts to do amazing things. Also, the best part about this language, something that is very, very rare. These little pictures, simple drag and drop, click, click, click. Real time, there is code being created, and you can see as you move the sliders, the code is changing. So you can understand that this isn't just some foreign language, this means something, and there's a visual representation. And as you move things around, you see the magic happening. So code isn't just some bizarre thing, oh, I don't understand code. No, you do understand code. RGB, you see those 3 numbers? Red, green, blue. Red, green, blue. As I change the slider, what does 0 mean? It's off. 32, it's on. See it change? You can explain so many things. You can explain mixing of colors, red, green, blue, art. You can explain music, different notes, half beats, quarter notes. So there's so much you can do, and in addition, you can also see the sensor data. You can literally see, as you run your hand across the robot, the numbers changing on the screen. So not only does it make code real time, but you can see how it relates to each thing and why 0 is false. When you press a button, you see to turn 1. Then you say, if button pressed is 1, if it's true, then do this. And it's all written out. So I can explain if-then logic to 4-year-olds, to 3-year-olds. You can even get in advance and graph the sensors, okay? This isn't a 3-year-old robot. Well, it is. Could they do this? Maybe not. But could you show them the graph? Yes. Could an adult program it and learn? Absolutely. So why is it affordable? Because it was built to be this way. It was built to be an affordable education robot by a university with good intentions to make the world a better place. Open source software, download it, Mac, Linux, PC, any computer for free. The software is constantly being updated. You don't have to pay for it. It's a community working on the software to make it better. It's cause-driven because people want to make the world a better place. Smart design. You build it smartly, it can be cheaper. Reusable among classes. I have my classroom building off of it with blue tape, construction materials. You don't even have to invest in Lego. You can build it with anything. If you go into my booth, you'll see all these creations. I've got some students here. They must love it enough to be here. Okay? And they both signed up for my summer camp last year and this year, and they do it all year long. What's wrong with them? No. There's nothing wrong with them. They're curious, they're intelligent, and they're passionate, right? So, no equipment maintenance, okay? As you can open a box, if you can put your finger finger somewhere. If you can close it, you've just maintained this robot. There are no chargeable batteries. When it's being plugged into program, it is charging. There is no maintenance for anybody. You just have to clean up like a normal toy. So why Techie Kids? Engineering and technology, design and creativity, education and kids. Coincidentally, this not only reflects what Techie Kids is, but it also reflects my interests. And there's a lot going on here because it's interdisciplinary. So, my kindergarten class. You can make it, they have behaviors. Well, what does this remind you of? It reminds me of the squirrel because it follows me. If I get close to it, if I get too close, it runs away. Okay, make it a squirrel. Now they have interactive animals that are running around. How quickly can you do that normally? Fourth and fifth. Okay, create me a project. These guys create a leopard gecko. They had to think about how a leopard gecko would behave. These guys created a waiter bot to bring you food. This guy is security camera to do security around a premises. Why not? So there's a process. It's not just about coding anymore. There's a process in order to make these projects to get these kids thinking. On my website, I have many different projects. These are all kid created. This is the return bot. So now we're not just teaching coding with robots, okay? This is their slides. They have to talk about how it works, who they built it for, why they would want it. So this is return bot. You throw a balloon to it, it hits it back. You throw a balloon to it, it hits it back. It's robotic playment. They had to create an animation to illustrate what their device is for. Why would somebody want it? They have to create a diagram. They have to be able to communicate, not only build it, not even program it, but also communicate their concept, create a logo. All of this coded. They learned that you can create a variable of any name, so they decide to use cheese. So all of these different projects are on my website. The purpose is to encourage kids to create projects, post them online, and show them off. So not only are you designing in a corner, but have purpose.
We're the creators of the return bot. This is a demonstration on how the return bot will work. I have to go. Sorry. Alright. This is so boring. Oh wait, I forgot I had this.
That's an example of one kid's project. I love to see what they create. I never know what they're going to create. And then it gets me asking questions. It actually keeps me engaged in my own classroom. You can never be bored when you don't know what's going to happen next. So, on the site, now I have online classes. Getting started basics, coding, and creative inventions. I realize not everyone might want to do the whole gamut, but there's nothing wrong with watching some videos to get some kids started, and the student projects and community. So here's a glimpse of techiekids.com. Here's some courses that I offer, getting started with Thymio. There's an interactive animal project, programming with code. So, I actually have the 3 kids in that picture over here. So, there's a description of what you need for the lesson. There's the pre-program, there's some quizzes over here. So the philosophy is no longer is the teacher the only knowledge keeper. The teacher's now the facilitator. It's okay for the teachers not to know. Make it easy to get started. Inspired to do more. Cut down on the instruction time. The theory is they watch these videos, it's conveyed to them in the simplest way possible. And from there on out, if they have questions, they might only get 80% of the information, but there's the person next to them probably got that nugget that they missed. And from that, they start a conversation. Teach kids how to think, not always how to code. Make it accessible. So, I have a special deal just for you, okay? I want to get these robots out into schools. So, here's the special deal. I've never offered it before, but I really want you guys using this robot, okay? So I'm going to offer for $100 $199, the entire package, okay? You're gonna get the robot, the memory card, and the remote control. Get it for your school. You get access to the online curriculum, the Getting Started class, okay? If you get a robot, you can show it to your teachers. Here, get started now, okay? I've got the robot, so this is what is a full package to get started. Here, it's basically an interactive, not a textbook, but here's my information. This is the code, okay? So that will drop down the price. So if I would probably order, I'll probably have it on it for the next 2 weeks. It might take me a couple weeks to ship the order to you, but if you're interested, here's my email address and there's my contact information. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. We have about 3 minutes for questions. And I have the microphone here if you have any questions. Yes?
When you said that you can create a program and you automatically see a response, is it done only wired or can you send it Wi-Fi or Bluetooth?
Great question. So right now it's wired. You can unplug your robot and interact with it as much as you want. You can even save your program into your robot. Around this summer, they're developing a wireless way to program the robot. And so there's going to be a little port that you plug in the robot and you can wirelessly program it. Any other questions?
How do I get one? It would look pretty cool. How do I get one just for myself?